All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus. My name is Ark.
I'm the lake-dwelling random ninja.
And this is by far the worst episode of Shadow of the Colossus that I have ever done. I hated this.
I thought Dirge was boring.
No, this one
Boy,
wasn't boring.
is.
This one, oh my god. This one took forever.
Yeah, because you have to swim every goddamn place. Swimming fucking sucks. We saw that with Avion. Why did they introduce more swimming?
Right?
Who did the one boss where you have to swim a little bit, and then a second boss where you have to swim, and then they went, you know what this game needs? Another fucking boss you have to swim around for.
So, if you couldn't tell today, we did not enjoy this boss, and that would be Pelagia. Which is a weird bull-looking thing, even though it's in the water.
Well, it's like a giraffe. It's got really long legs.
Yeah. I don't know. I hated this fight so much. This is my least favorite fight.
Really wanted the fight to be by the waterfall. I was kind of sad it wasn't. I wonder if there will be a fight by the waterfall down there.
Right. I don't know.
It's a nice area. Real pretty to look at.
Yeah.
The area we're going to, a lot less pretty to look at. Pretty boring.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I had to look up this fight. Because I could not... Dorman was not helping me at all. I could not figure it out for the life of me.
And nobody blames you.
Yeah, this is...
Least of all... Yeah, I knew what was happening going into the fight. I would still say that it's just not very intuitive.
Yeah. That's all I can say is, this fight...
I mean... The one good thing to say, the trek there is nice. I do enjoy that. Like, this is taking us to an area unlike any other, where it's like, you go through forest, and then you sort of clamber around. And it's a pretty ride over to the boss location. So I'll give it that.
Everything else.
Yeah, everything else about it I generally disliked. Oh, you should have looked up how to get there.
No, I figured you can get there through here.
Oh, yeah, as long as you turn right at some point.
Yeah, I do.
You can turn right immediately.
Oh, I see.
Tisk, tisk. Going for a little swim. Taking a bath.
Yeah, this was me, because there was no sun, so I didn't know where I was going, so this is me just exploring.
Looking at... That appears to be a bottomless pit. Okay, so, speaking of bottomless pits, every bottomless pit is just a really deep hole, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what the deepest bottomless pit is. Not counting Mariana's Trench, because that's arguably filled with water.
I was actually just about to say that.
What is the deepest hole that is not filled with water, I wonder?
Your mom's.
Wow. I mean, that was good, I'll give you that. That's low, even for you.
I take them where I can get them. You
Classic
really did.
Mom humor.
I was gonna say you really set yourself up for that one.
Oh, absolutely! I walked right into that. It's 2008 all over again. Oh my god, that was 10 years ago.
Right? Oh my god. I'm old. We're old.
We are old. This game is old.
This game is very old.
Looked up this fight on PS2. Just watched a video of it. Boy, it looks like shit.
I can imagine.
Yeah. That's just textures. The atmosphere and stuff, that's all still there, but the textures of the cliff, the textures of the boss, garbage. Pure garbage.
Oh, yeah.
I stand by that. I don't have that nostalgia factor that people seem to really get boners for when they talk about, oh, this game looks so good. It doesn't. It's like people that say Mario 64 looks good.
Right. So I had a little... This entire area just gave me trouble, because I'm like, why is it not letting me go up there? Because the reason I had trouble... I think I had as much trouble as I did was because of Dorman, in all honesty. Because he had mentioned something about a bridge, and then my mind was just fixated on that, like, oh, I have to go on the bridge that's up there and do something with that. Had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky wording when it tells you about this boss. And I guess it's just bridge and water because he doesn't swim. He walks on the ground.
Right. Like,
so he is himself the bridge.
Right. And this is probably the most that I've had to edit for our Shadow of the Colossus. Besides, what was the other? It was Avion. I had to edit this one more than Avion because I'm trying. You see me? I'm trying to climb up there, and then I actually go back to the waterfall, and I'm like, "What am I doing?" And I'm here for like a good almost like 10 minutes trying to get to here.
Yeah, I didn't start recording until I swam in here. I did the same thing as you. I tried to jump up there so many times.
Yeah, and the same thing because. Go ahead.
It seems like one of those things you should be able to do. There's really not a lot of differentiation between here's what you can grab onto and here's what you can't. And Assassin's Creed and games like that with that parkour mechanic have taught us, climb on everything.
Right. And like I said, Dorman was my downfall in this because during the fight he gives a hint where you're like, oh, you have to get the higher ground, and me thinking, oh, now I can get on the bridge somehow, I try to go back on the bridge.
It is a little misleading. His hints aren't great. The whole fight, I mean, it's taking elements of fights we've already seen. You know, we've got the water from Avion and Hydrus. We've got the you have to hide from the boss from Barbas. So it's not that it's necessarily an entirely new fight. Obviously, he's got those rocks on his head. That's new mechanic. He's got the hidden chest. That's new mechanic. But it's still... Once you figure out how to do this fight, the fight is not difficult. It's just the boss is uncooperative.
Oh, God, he is. He is so uncooperative. So, I start this off because I'm like, okay, so I have no indication of what I can do. I can sort of see the rocks on his head, and I think I try to shoot them, if I remember correctly. But this is yeah. See, I try to shoot the rock there, and that doesn't work. So then I think I take the more direct tactic a little bit later of trying to swim around him.
Mm-hmm. And he just turns in the water. Mm-hmm. You're not hidden from him underwater, which is kind of unfortunate, because you would think, oh, I'll just swim around this guy. No such luck. He's just gonna keep turning.
Yep.
Slowly. Slightly faster than you can swim.
Which is really annoying.
At one point, I'm not sure if you saw, but he turned his leg as I was swimming around him, and I got stuck underneath some of his ridges, I guess, and got pushed really deep underwater. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah.
If I saw it, I might have edited it out, because there was a couple things where I had to edit out of yours. Because this episode is going to be at least over a half an hour. With like
altogether in our fights, we probably spent 30 minutes swimming.
Right? Probably 30 minutes on me alone.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, my time for this fight is over 20 minutes.
It's my longest fight. Significantly shorter than yours, your equivalent time, but it is a long fight. Yeah.
And here I actually, because I see this and I'm like, okay, maybe I can get up there, but it doesn't let me, and it doesn't even dawn on me to try to, like, use him to get on his back, because you've never had to use a Colossus as a mechanic to beat the Colossus.
Yeah, it's never been a move this guy. So, you know, I can appreciate what they tried to do with this. I wish it wasn't in water. I don't know why it needs to be in water. Other than being like, oh, look at this really pretty lake.
Right. And this does not help me at all. Because I'm just hiding behind here thinking, like, what?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no kidding. I can't hit its vitals behind this pillar. Thanks, Dorman.
Right. And I think I do a jump cut at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, because I still haven't figured out what the hell to do.
Well, I think if he'd started moving towards you, you probably would have figured it out. But it's the fact that I guess you didn't really hide for long enough to get him to start coming towards you.
Right. Or to get him to start swimming away in the direction that he goes so that you can get on his back.
Yeah, just turning around away from you.
Yeah.
So To spoil it for anyone, the mechanic is you have to hide from him in order to swim on his back. You can get him to come up and search for you, sort of like Barbas does, and then jump on his face. But it's easier just to get him to turn around and swim up behind him and do the slow climb up his back.
And as you can see from the huge jump cut, I jumped from about 3 minutes and 30 seconds up to about 15 minutes when I looked up how to do this. Because I spent a real long time.
Okay, so he's got barnacles on him, I'm just noticing.
Does he?
So he's not... Yeah, at least it looks like little barnacles on the side of his fur.
Maybe.
It makes sense. He lives underwater.
Yeah.
Not a fish, though. How does he breathe underwater? Does he even breathe? He doesn't have a mouth. Or eyes,
I mean,
for that matter.
it could be even... would any of them breathe?
Yeah, so I guess the hint is sort of saying, hey, go ahead and get on top of the ruins with that really not obvious hint. Some of them, like Dirge, super obvious. Barbas, super obvious. This guy,
nope.
The hint is less than great.
I have to say, these rocks, they look like teeth.
They do look like teeth. Kind of weird. Makes me think, like, this is half a Colossus, and that's why it doesn't have any eyes or anything.
That'd be super weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, you see me here, because I'm trying to think of, like, normal Colossus faction. Oh, I'm here. I can probably start stabbing him. And you actually see me try to hit the rocks, but it does, I think I just don't hit them.
I think it's because you hit the front one, but there was no ruins near him. See how he's kind of turning around? It's sort of designed to direct you towards the ruins as much as it can.
And you see me just try to do, like, these random stabs to see if they do anything. And here I'm like, thanks, Dorman. This is real helpful. Yeah.
That's freaking out a bit.
A little bit.
That must have really confused you.
Oh, yeah. I was like, huh?
What does that mean?
So you see, I'm just trying to go into, like, different spots and see where it's pointing.
Of course, you could have saved yourself the trouble had you hit a rock and he would have started walking. You're like, oh.
Right?
But because you hit the one on the front, I guess you didn't register it.
Because I think I actually jump off of him and get back on. Because I do another jump cut in a little bit. But this is just me trying to figure out what in God's name am I doing. And all I can think to myself right now is just hit it. Just hit the stupid thing. See, I even tried hitting it right there again.
Yeah, and it missed. You're having a lot of trouble with those teeth rocks.
Right? So you see me jump ahead right here. This is after I've looked...
Yeah, that's after you looked up how to do it.
Yeah.
Because you go right for them at this point.
Yeah. This fight was awful.
It does not make you feel very smart.
No. I wonder how many other people... See, this would be the Besarin of my run. Like, quitting after this, like, during this run would be me.
Had the internet not existed in its current form, absolutely. I would never have figured this out.
Yeah.
And again, you cut here because I assume he just was being genuinely unhelpful to you as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just not putting his legs up. Yeah, he did that for me at one point as well.
Yeah. And I think I might have cut that out of yours as well, because he does it for a good, like, solid minute and a half.
Yeah, he is an asshole.
And as you can see, I'm trying to climb up his legs. Oh, God, this was not my run.
The one time shining your light would have helped.
Right? I think, though, this is probably my favorite sigil placement. Not the fight in general, just I really like jumping onto his chest and stabbing him there kind of thing.
And you do have more of a time limit as well, so that's kind of... It's an interesting way of doing it where it gives you that sense of pressure and that sense of, listen, you're on a time crunch, you're killing these guys, and time is getting sort of shorter.
Yeah. Now, how many stabs did you take on yours?
I got 3 stabs the first time.
So did I.
I only needed 1 stab. everything I read online says you can only get 2 stabs, but either they're lying or that's something that changed with the PS4 remake.
Possibly. So you see me right here, and I'm like, take out my sword. Let's do this right. God, I was so happy when this fight was over. My entire recording for this was 45 minutes long. And I cut it down to, I think, like, 17.
And that's, like, the travel felt really long to me until I got to the boss one. Oh no, this is much worse.
Yeah.
It's a boss that's pretty far away.
Yeah.
And it's just long.
Yeah.
I think I feel that this could have been better designed by being closer, for one thing. I guess just being a bit more fun as well. Like, having to slowly swim around him, slowly chase after him, and then wait for him to put his legs up. It's a lot of inactivity and a lot of very little player agency involved.
Right. I actually got a lot of hang time on that jump that I just did.
Yeah, I tried to do one of those jumps and fell miserably.
Yeah. And I almost just fell off right there. But, magnet hands.
I would have added, probably, like, a minute.
I would say at least, like, 2.5. See, you know what would be really
time
cool?
Attack.
What would be really cool is that if you, instead of, like, a downward stab, you could, like, run and jump at him with your sword, stabbing it right then and there kind of thing.
Like a charge kind of thing?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool if you could combine, like, the jump stab with a grab and do, like, an action movie slide down as you do damage.
Right? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So you were saying about the time attack?
Time attack for this guy is 11 minutes, if I recall correctly.
So you were close. I was not. My time was 12 minutes and... What was it? 54?
12:50, I think? Something like that.
Something. No, not 12. That was yours. I'm talking about mine. Mine was like 25 something.
Sorry. 25 and change, yeah. Very long fight for you. It must have been miserable.
Oh god, I hated it. Every second where I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, I want to kill myself. This is horrible. Why?
Cool.
Please
boss
God.
scene.
Please God, end this.
Good wake up scene. Good atmosphere. Bad boss. Real bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just stealing your player agency. You can't do anything unless he cooperates. And
which
I guess
sucks.
Barbas was the same way, but Barbas would just go down easily. Dirge chased after you. Celosia, no big deal. I'm trying to think of other bosses, and yeah, this is really, really the first one that just is entirely dependent on not being an asshole.
And the other thing with Barba is that Dorman's hint was actually helpful.
Yeah, no one would ever make the connection between cross to higher ground and fucking climb on top of the Colossus, use his weird teeth bone things to fucking steer him.
Right?
It doesn't even make sense.
Not even in the slightest. Dorman was not helpful in this fight at all.
So one thing I read online is that if you hide from him, he's supposed to come towards you and try to find you, sort of like Barbas did.
Mm-hmm.
And put his legs up, and then you can, like, climb onto his face, kind of thing. Either, you know, I'm probably not doing it right, or I'm not waiting long enough, but it seems kind of counterintuitive to wait when he turns away from you, and then you could just swim to him pretty easily.
Right.
So all things considered, like, even starting off well, it's still a minute before you can really do anything.
Which is probably why the time attack is like, what did you say, 11 minutes?
11 minutes, yeah. Why would you design a boss that for a minute you're doing nothing? A minute and a half, I'm just swimming after him, slowly.
Yep, because swimming sucks at this game.
There's no swim faster button, it's just hope you grab onto him.
Pretty much. So, anybody else have trouble with this boss? because clearly him and I did.
Yeah, I'm expecting other people must have had trouble. I didn't find anything particular. Nothing quite like Basarin with the time attack stuff, where it was a run ender. But I can imagine that this guy is going to be much harder to get a good run on in time attack.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even with your falls and stuff, you still get pretty close.
Sure, but you know, with time attack, I'd obviously want to do it faster, and especially the hard mode time attack, where it's just,
right.
You know, you have less health and can't take as many hits, which I don't think I take many, but you have less grip meter and all that stuff.
Well, honestly,
so you can't
in this
hold your
one,
breath as long. And
yeah. Okay, that's what makes the difference, is being able to hold your breath. I was gonna say, because your health doesn't really matter, because you're just under the water and the lightning does nothing.
Yeah. Wait, it's not lightning. It can't be, or else you would be damaged. It's just looks like
energy?
Electricity, I think.
I was gonna say, like, energy?
I guess.
Well, because when... I don't know, that'd be an interesting question, because I know, like, when lightning strikes water, does it dissipate, or what? Does it actually make it electrified?
It conducts. It goes through whatever objects are in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Water itself does conduct electricity. That's, you know, the whole toaster in the bathtub kind of thing.
Right.
But, you know, it's an interesting question. No, I don't want to think about it. Too hard, anyway. But...
let's go do an experiment.
If I put ballistic gel in a tub, would it still conduct electricity? If I dropped a toaster in there? Or would it just ruin a toaster?
Oh,
You
we're
saw
funny.
that fall there, which definitely should have been a jump I made.
Oh, yeah.
In no way should I have hit the top of his tooth and then not been able to jump again.
I think you had another close jump where you actually did make it, though.
Yeah, the next one.
I have to say, this is by far, so far, the most unique place to put a sigil.
It's not at the top of his head, which is really what I was expecting.
Right? So yeah, both of us ended up getting 3 stabs on him. Which, honestly...
You got 3 fully charged stabs. I got 2 fully charged and 1 not quite fully charged.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
Right. Like, you could have still just had 2 fully charged stabs and it would still be the same result.
Yeah, exactly. You still have to do 1 more ruin.
Yeah. So, I skip ahead here again.
Yeah, where I've climbed him, I got him to turn around, and just swam on top of him.
And you almost fall off, which I laughed at.
Almost fall off, yeah. Those are definitely supposed to be teeth.
They definitely look like teeth.
Because you can see the indentations where there would have been other ones at some point.
Right.
So, my second jump also almost a miss, and then he shoots me and saves me, I think.
I actually thought that you were going to fall off again. But
the important thing is that I didn't.
Yep. And then you see me skip ahead.
Good solid minute of him dicking me around. Got sick and tried to shoot him.
See, okay, so if your arrow also did something to those, that would have also helped a lot too, because you saw me shoot them before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your eye was drawn to them. It's just the way you're supposed to interact with them doesn't really make sense given what we've dealt with in the past.
Right.
Where it's, like you said, you're using a Colossus as a mechanic to kill the Colossus.
Yeah. So your final time ended up being 12 minutes and 54 seconds, so full almost 12 minutes faster than mine.
Almost half your time.
Yeah. Which has been pretty consistent.
It's true. Yeah, I'm usually about twice as fast as you, so, you know, all things considered, we're still on target. The ratio is maintained. We'll just ignore... We'll strike these times from the records. We'll just pretend that this boss doesn't exist, and we're good. We've got a good average.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I hated this one so goddamn much. Design-wise, it's cool. It's just, Dorman doesn't help you when you're stuck. And it was just awful.
This cutscene
Yes.
awful.
Not awful. Because
We're
is this
finally getting a bit more story.
Is this Dorman that we see that's coming through here because of the mask?
These are people chasing after Wander.
Okay.
Who took the maiden, who was some kind of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people, I guess, from whatever that village or kingdom is.
Oh, okay. Because like I've said before, I know absolutely nothing about the story of this.
Yeah, we find out a little bit more later on, but yeah, so this is someone going after Wander. Because I guess that's a disturbance in the Forbidden Land, which is where we are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think it was forbidden because of Dorman or because of the Colossi first?
Well, probably because people would probably, like Dorman's doing, people would view the Colossi as almost like trophies. And I'm assuming that something bad's going to happen when they're all dead. That's just my video game spidey sense going off. That this isn't...
You're not wrong. Something bad is going to happen. Your interpretation of it is a little off.
Okay.
But you'll see. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't made the connection between those shadowy figures and the Colossus we're killing, and the shadow tentacles and the mysterious voice in the sky.
I don't know. I'm kind of bad at that stuff sometimes, unless it's like blatantly obvious. But
it'll make sense pretty quick, I think.
I'm also trying not to think about it as much because I'm just having fun with this. And next we get to take on our final serpentine thing. Elongated Colossus. There we go. How's that for terminology? You cool with that?
I think this one's actually a serpent. You could have gone with serpent.
Oh my god. There's no winning with you. There's no winning with you.
Never is.
Okay. So, as you can see, these are our final times. My time ended up being 25 minutes and 15 seconds. And your time is your longest time, which is actually almost the same amount of time that took me on Gaius, which was our third Colossus.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, because I suck.
Oh, bad thing for you. This also doesn't feel very good for me.
No, not at all. This was just a crapshoot.
Well, that being said, we've got a good Colossus next. We've got more story coming. We're almost done with this, and
we are.
Well, we'll see you next time, right?
Yep. As always, my name is Ark.
I'm RandomNinja.
And next episode, we'll be taking on the Flying Serpent Phalanx. So we will see you all next time. Bye-bye!